there is a guy named Keith Moore who has developed a filtering system that you can put in a blind, and a deer will walk and put his nose on that blind and not know you're in it. Completely straight downwind from you.
Well, about 4 years ago, I was coming home from a fishing trip with a good friend of mine, and I told him, I said, I think I know how to make a way that you could hunt deer and not be scented by them. My friend said, well, if you think you can do that, you better get off your rear and go do it right now. So I started to work on it pretty quick. That was like in July. And by like November, I had a working model. And what I was after was a way to deal with days when the wind is swirling, or if it's in the morning, the wind blows out of the north, and as the day heats up, it blows out of the south, and then you get in the blind in the evening, it's blowing out of the south still, and as it gets cooler, it starts blowing out of the north again, and you bust every deer you got. You can mess up 400 or 500 acres of hunting in one day, in 2 hunts, because you've just circulated your scent in a circle everywhere. So I always wondered how that could be done, and it haunted me as a way to fix that.
We've got a filtering system here, and we've got the windows sealed. Got a little plexiglass where you can see through them, and it just blocks your scent, and this filtering system takes care of that.
It draws the air through the window of the blind. It circulates the air through it, cleans it, makes it scent free, and then filters it out through the back of the blind. And I tell you what, it's been amazing. I mean, I'm excited about it because I can't tell you how many times I've set a ground blind up in a cornfield or someplace where I couldn't get a tree stand, and I didn't get to hunt it when I really needed to, or when I had the time to, whatever the circumstances were, because the wind was wrong.
It really does allow you to hunt a place, and you'll see more deer longer before they're onto you that they're there. I mean, it's not a panacea for everything, but it does allow you to get deer closer and you to hunt the same place. You could actually hunt it as many as 3 times in a row and still see maybe 70% of the deer you saw the first day, which if you didn't have that, you might see 20%.
This is just a standard blind. It's a poplar blind that a lot of people use, but you can use it in any blind. You just got to seal it off, and you can use this filtering system and have deer. We put this Khmer deer, we put 3-day harvest and shake and take 10 yards from this blind. Our scent was drifting straight to the deer, and we did not have one deer wind us.
That's a dead deer.
Oh, look at this guy. Wow. That is a neat deer, man. Alive. I didn't know anything like that exists. Keith's been working on it for years and years and years, and he's put it together, and he's pretty much got it perfected.
This blind is, the way he's got it sealed up is incredible, and then he's got this machine in there that's drawing the air through the front window and then pulling it through, I guess it's like a carbon filter, sucking it right back in the blind. So what it does, it draws the air through the window, sucks it through the machine, purifies it, and then vents it back out the back. Clean, scent-free air. I mean, it's pretty awesome right there. I mean, it just sucks it right back in. So we should be good, because I mean, the wind is blowing straight out to where the deer are gonna come. And normally I wouldn't even attempt this, but that's kind of the purpose of why we're here. And I'm telling you, we've had phenomenal success with this thing. You're just basically scent proof, which is the ultimate for a whitetail hunter, is to be able to sit out there and have a hunt and not have to worry about which way the wind's blowing, which way the deer are coming from. you literally can just go hunt.
If you're in a blind, the air on the outside and the air on the inside are the same pressure. What you want to do is create a negative pressure inside of the blind so that the air is always being sucked in. And then that way the scent can't get away. In order to do that, you have to have some way to remove the smell out of the air. I have a filtering system that can do that, and it works really, really well.
Man, that is a great Texas buck right there. Goodness gracious. Oh. This week, I learned a lot about hunting out of ground blinds. And I've always worried about scent control and stuff like that. And this new product that Mr. Keith Moore has come up with has really helped us. We haven't had a single deer smell us all week.
Oh, I bet he did. Give me knuckles, man. That's awesome. Yes, sir. That is.
Jimmy decides that he's going to take the blind and give it a really good test. So he takes and puts corn and come deer down to a feeder that's been existing for about 3 years. The deer are really used to coming to it. We turn the feeder off so that the deer wouldn't be habituated. Once they come in there, they're going to look for something else. Well, they followed the come deer and the corn right back to the blind. He set it up to where the blind was straight upwind of where the feed was and the come deer. So he took the windows out, 2 of the windows. One of the windows is this wide and this tall, and the second window is this tall and this wide. So it's nearly two square foot of window area that the machine had to overcome. And he had deer, I think he shot the deer he killed at 9 or 10 yards.
I am absolutely mind-boggled. We just had a huge 10-point, a really old 8-point, a 7-point, a 9-point, a spike, and 2 different doe and a yearling. They were all inside of 12 yards. They stayed all together about 40 minutes. We're hunting in a ground blind. There's 2 of us. Now, here's the mind-boggling part about this whole deal, is our scent was blowing directly at them. They were right here. Now watch this. Watch this. Right there. Smoked him. Dude, he's right there. Right there. Dude, check it out. Check it out. Check it out. That is an old buck, man.
Hunting from the ground blind without that large plexiglass window in the front was definitely a risk, especially with our scent and the wind blowing directly toward the deer. But I was really amazed we never got busted.
I like him. I like him.
I'm very, very impressed. Got a little battery here, and it makes a constant noise. And I was concerned when I first used it that it may make too much noise and it offends the deer. But with that constant noise, they don't pay any attention to it at all. I've not had one deer be alerted by that constant noise.
I learned that one of the things that a deer will put up with a noise that's constant, with a constant kind of a hum, that you would never think a deer would put up with. But if you think in terms of like a windmill, that's loud, or a highway, that's loud too, but the deer hear it, and it's a constant noise, and after they examine it, they decide to not be scared by it. So anyway, that was a real shock. I don't think very many people believe that, and I didn't believe it either until I saw it.
It's a very consistent sound, so that it doesn't, and it's very, very low, so it doesn't spook the deer. I mean, we've had deer in here at, 6-7 yards, and it hadn't spooked them.
One of the things that in a lot of the charcoal mechanisms that are available now, which are mainly suits, that a whole suit may not have an ounce of charcoal in it, and I'm using 5 pounds. So it makes a big difference. It takes a lot in order to take the smell out in one pass.
Actually took the windows out, and it still worked just as good. I mean, I think you could take half of them out, open up half the windows, and it would still work great.
The applications for these units are just limitless, especially if you hunt from ground blinds over at water holes. It can be elk, pronghorn, you can hunt wild boar down in the south, bear way up north, coyotes anywhere across the United States. It doesn't really matter. If you're hunting a wild animal that has a good sense of smell, these units are going to place you at an advantage.
I've got a small one that fits in a gun ammo case, and it works for really good for small tight blinds. But for the bow blinds, the other one I have is pretty good size. But I don't think it's prohibitive. You just bring the thing in, put the battery in with it, and put an exhaust hose out the side of the blind, and away you go.
This is an amazing invention that works, and you're going to hear a whole lot more about it. We've been really on the QT because we didn't really know what Keith was going to do to market this thing, and I've used it at home, and it worked foolproof, and I saw it here again today. And so our whole objective on this hunt for me is to kill a deer, as always, but to show how this thing works, and it's really, really incredible.
Keith Moore, all I can say is you are a genius, and I want 20 of these things for my blinds.
Hey man, it's gonna work.
All right.
It's something that's definitely gonna help me. I'm excited about it in the future. There's a lot of applications that I'm gonna have for it, and it's just gonna be another tool in my arsenal.